The deep black of space stretched endlessly, dotted only by faint stars and drifting debris. For many alien ships in this sector, it was a place of danger. The interstellar storm had torn through their fleet like a predator through a herd, leaving engines crippled, shields damaged, and spirits shaken. A council of alien captains hovered near a small cluster of asteroids, debating their next move. Among them, whispers carried the same question. Should they trust the humans? Stories of human repair stations had traveled across the galaxy. Some spoke of impossible feats of strength, mechanical genius, and unshakable courage. Others dismissed them as exaggerated tales, meant to impress naive civilizations. Now, facing the storm's aftermath, the aliens had little choice. Their ships were damaged, and the nearest human station rested quietly on a neutral asteroid waiting. The asteroid was small, almost unremarkable. Its surface was jagged and gray, dotted with glowing landing pads and strange structures that seemed to merge technology and rough practicality. The human repair station looked less like a palace of technology and more like a busy, chaotic workshop. Smoke and sparks rose from open panels, and humans moved with swift purpose, carrying tools, parts, and sometimes just raw muscle to shift heavy machinery. The alien captains hesitated as their ships approached. One elder, tall and slender with translucent skin, spoke first. "We do not know these humans. Their methods are unconventional." Another, covered in metallic scales, hissed in agreement. "They rely on strength and improvisation. Primitive, I do not trust it." Yet the majority felt desperation outweighing caution. Engines were failing, life support systems flickered, and the storm's remnants could strike again at any moment. They needed help, and this human station offered the only chance. The first ships landed. The airlocks opened and humans emerged. They were diverse in appearance, but all shared the same confident presence. Some were tall with broad shoulders and strong arms. Others were smaller but moved with precision and speed. Every one of them carried tools, often heavier than anything an alien could lift alone. And every human worked with calm determination, even as strange machines whirred and sparks danced dangerously nearby. An alien engineer worried about human recklessness watched closely. "They move without caution," he muttered. "One mistake could destroy everything." A human approached, wiping sweat from his brow, and smiled politely. "We've got this. Let us take a look at your engines, and I promise you'll fly. Again." The alien blinked. There was no arrogance in the human's voice, only quiet confidence, and somehow that was more unsettling than pride. The first ship's crew followed the humans to the hangar. The engine was large, complicated, and beyond what alien technology manuals described. Strange cables twisted like vines, and panels exposed. Inner mechanisms the aliens barely understood. The humans didn't hesitate. They lifted panels with their bare hands, pulled out components, and began testing circuits. One human, a young woman with short hair, bent over a massive engine component. She gripped it with both hands, muscles straining, and then lifted it as if it weighed nothing. The aliens stared. Several had tried to move the same part with their advanced machinery and failed. "Impressive," one alien muttered. "Impossible. Strength for their size." The human smiled without looking up. "You'll see more before we're done." Over the next few hours, the humans worked with mechanical intuition that seemed almost instinctual. They didn't just follow manuals. They adapted to every problem, fixing parts in ways the aliens had never imagined. When a power conduit sparked dangerously, a human engineer grabbed it and rerouted energy in a fraction of a second, saving the engine and the ship from serious damage. Some aliens whispered among themselves, "These humans, they are not like us," one said. "Their strength and their skill, it is unnatural." A skeptic, the metallic-scaled captain, scowled. "Do not be fooled by brute force. They may fix engines, but they do not understand the precision we demand." Another human, overhearing the skepticism, chuckled softly. "Precision comes from practice, and sometimes a little strength helps too. Watch carefully." Then something remarkable happened. One of the largest engine blocks had fallen slightly off balance, threatening to crush a nearby human. Before any alien could react, two humans together lifted the massive block effortlessly and set it down safely. The aliens gasped. They had seen no race with such combination of physical strength and coordination. By the end of the first day, the ship's engines were humming again, fully functional. The alien captain, initially skeptical, watched the humans with a mix of awe and grudging respect. "I do not understand it," he admitted quietly. "How can beings so small accomplish what our fleets cannot?" One human shrugged. "We're just used to solving problems. Some need brains, some need strength, sometimes both. We don't see it as impossible. We just see it as work to be done." As night fell over the asteroid, other ships began to arrive. The humans did not rest. They repaired damaged shields, replaced failing life support systems, and even upgraded navigation arrays in ways the aliens could not have imagined. Despite exhaustion, the humans laughed and worked, sharing jokes and stories in their language, which was strange but somehow comforting to the aliens. A small group of alien engineers lingered near the edge of the hangar. "I do not trust them," one said. "Their strength when it is unnerving. Their methods, chaotic. What if they damage our ships further?" Another, older and wiser, shook his head. "No. Watch them. Learn from them. They do not rely solely on strength but on courage, instinct, and intelligence. They are different, and perhaps we should trust them." Meanwhile, in a quieter corner of the station, the human chief engineer surveyed the incoming fleet. "They're scared," he said softly to an assistant. "And curious. That's good. They'll learn fast that humans can handle things others cannot." The assistant nodded. "But will they ever fully trust us?" "Trust comes with proof," the chief said, a slight smile forming. "And they'll have plenty before we're done here." As the first night on the station passed, the aliens began to notice something else, something subtler than strength or skill. The humans moved not just with purpose, but with calm certainty. They did not panic when sparks flew or machinery groaned under pressure. They took calculated risks, adapted instantly, and somehow made everything work. The aliens felt a strange admiration, and perhaps a little fear. Stories of human resilience were true, the aliens realized. Not exaggerated, not myth. Humans were extraordinary not because of advanced technology alone, but because of their determination, ingenuity, and unshakable courage. The asteroid's lights blinked softly in the darkness, casting long shadows across the busy hangar. Outside, alien ships floated silently, damaged but repairable. Inside, humans moved like a storm of focus and strength. They lifted, repaired, and improvised with a confidence that left every alien watching in awe. By the end of the first part, of the repairs, a new understanding began to form among the alien visitors. Humans were not just strong or clever, they were dependable in ways no other species had ever been. They were the kind of allies who could be trusted when the galaxy itself seemed to turn against you, and for the humans it was just another day at work, another set of engines to repair, another set of lives to make safe. But for the aliens, this was the beginning of something extraordinary. Something that would soon redefine their understanding of strength and reliability. Something that would make them trust humans, not because they had to, but because humans had proven they were worthy. As the first day ended, the alien captains gathered quietly in their ships. They spoke little, but the unspoken thought was clear. Humans were not to be underestimated. Not in skill, not in strength, not in spirit. The human station was more than a repair hub. It was a symbol, a proof that even in a galaxy filled with advanced technologies and ancient knowledge, there existed a species that could rise above expectations simply by being human. The morning sun, or what passed for it on this asteroid, glinted off metal panels and landing pads, painting long shadows across the busy human repair station. The hangar was alive with movement. Sparks flew from welding torches, engines hummed, and humans moved with calm, precise urgency. Alien crews watched from their ships, some with skepticism, some with awe. Among the incoming ships was one of the largest in the alien fleet, a battleship nearly twice the size of any human craft. Its engines were badly damaged, the result of the recent interstellar storm. Alien engineers had tried to stabilize it, but the machinery groaned under strain. They considered it lost. The human chief engineer, a tall man with broad shoulders and a kind yet commanding presence, walked toward the alien captain who had requested repairs. "Let me take a look," he said simply. His confidence radiated without arrogance. "We'll have her running again. Trust me." The alien captain, a four-armed being with armored scales, frowned. "You do not understand the damage. These engines are beyond repair. Any attempt will fail. It is impossible." The human nodded calmly. Impossible is just another word for something no one has solved yet. With that, he turned and led a team of humans toward the massive engine room. Alien engineers followed, partly curious, partly skeptical. The engines were a tangle of tubes, conduits, and glowing circuits. Alien sensors detected irregularities and warned of instability, but the humans moved through the room without hesitation. One human bent under a massive support beam, examining the connections as if reading the ship's pulse. Another lifted a component that dwarfed even the strongest alien engineers, holding it effortlessly while adjusting fragile conduits. The aliens whispered among themselves. "Do they not fear injury?" one asked. "They trust themselves." Another replied, eyes wide. "There is no hesitation." The humans divided tasks efficiently. One pair worked on rerouting power through damaged conduits. Another adjusted the fuel injectors, improvising tools from spare parts. Their methods were unorthodox. Humans relied on both strength and intuition, manipulating components by hand using raw power where precision machines might fail. Then came the first test. A massive cooling pipe cracked under pressure, spraying superheated coolant. Aliens froze, fearing catastrophic failure. One human leaped forward, gripping the pipe with both hands. The metal trembled under his strength, but he twisted and held it in place while another human secured it with a makeshift clamp. Within seconds, the immediate danger was gone. The aliens stared in disbelief. That is impossible," muttered one alien engineer. "No being could hold that pipe with bare hands." The human wiped sweat from his brow. "Not impossible," he said with a grin. "Just need someone willing to do it." The alien captain frowned but said nothing. There was no room for argument. The ship's engines were unstable and the humans were already proving results. Hours passed and the aliens watched as human teamwork turned chaos into order. One by one, failing components were repaired or replaced. What had seemed irreparable began to hum with new life. Circuits glowed. Steadily, pipes held strong and the engines finally rumbled with power. The human chief engineer stepped back and examined the engines. He gestured for the alien captain to approach. "We're ready for a test," he said simply. The captain hesitated. "Are you certain? Failure could destroy my ship?" The human smiled. "I've never been wrong yet." With careful coordination, the engines roared to life. The vibration was strong, shaking the hangar floor, but every component held. Aliens watched astonished as the engines stabilized and the ship systems returned to full functionality. One young alien engineer finally spoke, voice trembling with awe. How did you do this? These engines are unlike any we know." Human nearby chuckled. "We don't follow the same rules you do. We adapt, we improvise, and we lift things that need lifting, sometimes by hand." The aliens studied the humans more closely. It wasn't just strength that amazed them. It was the combination of intelligence, courage, and resilience. Humans seemed able to assess problems instantly and act without hesitation. They could calculate, improvise, and even risk their own safety to save the ship. Just then, an alarm sounded from another part of the hangar. A smaller ship had entered with damage to its navigation system. The human chief engineer didn't pause. "Split into teams," he ordered. "You take the engines. I'll handle navigation." 2 humans sprinted toward the new ship, carrying heavy equipment. One of them adjusted the gravity compensators so the alien crew could move components more easily. Another climbed into a cramped engine bay and started rewiring delicate circuits with bare hands, muscles straining as the confined space left little room for tools. The alien captain watched silently. He had heard rumors of human ingenuity, but witnessing it firsthand was different. Every move was confident, calculated, and effective. There was no wasted motion, no hesitation, only results. Hours turned into a full day. By the time the asteroid's artificial sun dimmed to evening, the alien fleet had nearly all its ships repaired. Engines hummed steadily. Shields were reinforced. Life support systems stabilized. Even damaged weapon arrays were partially restored, enough to defend if necessary. A quiet moment fell over the hangar. The humans wiped sweat and smudges from their faces, laughing softly and sharing a few friendly words. Alien crews watched in silence, some still skeptical but most quietly impressed. The metallic-scaled captain approached the human chief engineer. "Your methods, they are unconventional. They border on recklessness. Yet, your results cannot be denied." The human nodded. "Sometimes the rules are too rigid. Sometimes you need strength. Sometimes intuition. Sometimes both. The key is solving the problem, not following a protocol." The alien captain frowned thoughtfully. "You have courage. Courage, strength, persistence," the human said simply. "It all comes together. That's why our stations are trusted." In a quiet corner, a group of younger alien engineers whispered among themselves. "They are extraordinary," one said. "Not just physically, but everything. They solve problems we cannot. They hold together under pressure we would break under." By the end of the day, the alien crews began to see a new truth. Human. Repair stations were trusted not only because of tools or technology, but because humans were dependable under impossible circumstances. Where alien engineers might panic or retreat, humans pushed forward. Where machines failed, humans improvised. Where strength was needed, humans provided it without hesitation. Later, the alien captain who had been skeptical the most approached the human chief engineer again. "I doubted you," he admitted quietly. "I thought humans were reckless, primitive. But you have proven strength is more than muscle. It is intelligence, courage, and skill combined. You are remarkable." Humans simply smiled. "We just do our job." That night, as the asteroid lights dimmed, humans continued minor repairs and calibrations, preparing for the fleet to leave the next morning. Alien crews lingered, quietly observing, still in awe of what they had seen. Some discussed their experience, openly sharing admiration for human skill and resilience. Others remained skeptical, but even they could not deny the results. As the stars stretched endlessly outside the station, one thing was clear: humans were not just strong. They were dependable, clever, and fearless. They could solve problems that others deemed impossible. They were the reason alien fleets, even in dire circumstances, trusted human repair stations above all else. And for the humans, it was just another day. Another challenge to overcome. Another fleet to send safely back into the stars. But for the aliens, it was a revelation. They had seen what made humans different, what made them extraordinary, and why no other species could match their combination of skill, strength, and ingenuity. The asteroid rested quietly in space, a small hub of human ingenuity. Inside, humans continued their work, unconcerned with reputation or praise. Outside, alien fleets prepared to leave, carrying with them a new understanding. Humans were not to be underestimated, not in strength, not in skill, not in courage. And this understanding would shape every encounter with humans in the future. The trial of the engines was over. Humans had passed with flying colors, but the galaxy was vast, Challenges awaited, and the real test of human strength, both physical and moral, was only beginning. The asteroid's orbit around its small star was calm that morning, but the alien crews did not feel peace. Rumors had spread quickly. A rogue fleet, aggressive and unpredictable, was moving toward the sector. Some alien captains debated leaving, immediately fearing their ships, though newly repaired, would be easy targets. Others hesitated, drawn by the trust they had begun to place in the humans. The human chief engineer watched the alien discussions quietly, arms crossed as he assessed the situation. "We don't need to panic," he said, his voice calm. "We can protect the station and your ships if we act smart and fast." The alien captain, the one with metallic scales who had been skeptical of human methods, glared at him. "You are confident, but can your humans withstand a fleet attack? Our defenses are strong, but you are untested in battle." The chief engineer smiled faintly. "We'll show you. Stand by." Immediately, humans divided into teams. One worked on reinforcing the station's outer defenses. They lifted massive hull plates manually, adjusting energy conduits and anchoring them with precision. Another team reinforced the landing pads, while smaller groups worked with alien engineers to strengthen ships' shields. The aliens watched, impressed and unsettled. Humans moved with a calm intensity, muscles straining as they manually lifted heavy armor sections and rerouted power through precarious conduits. Their strength was extraordinary, yes, but it was paired with ingenuity, teamwork, and speed. No alien had seen anything like it. A young human, barely 20, carried a heavy shield generator alone across the hangar. Several aliens had tried to do the same but failed. Sweat streamed down his face, but he set it in place perfectly, giving a thumbs up to an astonished alien engineer. "How can they do this?" the alien whispered. "They are not even large, yet they lift things that would crush us." The chief engineer approached, overhearing. "Strength isn't just size," he said. "It's determination, technique, and willingness to take responsibility when needed." By midday, preparations were nearly complete. Humans had improvised energy barriers, reinforced docking areas, and coordinated alien and human teams seamlessly. The aliens could see clearly that the humans were not just workers. They were leaders. Then came the first warning. A fleet of rogue ships appeared on long-range scanners, moving with deadly precision. Some alien captains panicked, suggesting immediate retreat, but the humans did not flinch. "Stay calm," the chief engineer ordered. "We hold the station, or we lose it, and we won't lose it." The aliens hesitated. They had read reports of human bravery, but they had never faced it firsthand. Now, staring at a fleet that could destroy the station in minutes, they realized the humans' courage was no story. It was real. The rogue ships began their approach, energy weapons glowing ominously. Humans and aliens scrambled to stations. But the humans did not merely man controls. They moved where needed most. One team lifted a massive energy shield manually into place, blocking the main docking bay. Another repaired a failing generator mid-combat, using ingenuity and brute strength. An alien engineer struggled to adjust the targeting array on a defensive turret. A human appeared beside him, guiding his hands, and together they restored function in minutes. The aliens were silent in awe. Humans could not only do what aliens could, they did it faster, smarter, and under pressure no alien could endure. As the rogue fleet fired, the station's improvised shields took the brunt of the attack. Sparks flew, hull panels groaned, and alarms blared. Humans responded without hesitation. One grabbed a failing conduit, held it in place manually, and redirected power, while another human rewired the system on the fly. "Impossible," an alien captain shouted. "How do they survive this?" "They do not see danger as stopping them," another alien replied. "They solve it. They adapt. That is, human." The battle raged for hours. Humans coordinated defensive maneuvers, repaired damage in real time, and led alien crews with calm authority. Where aliens panicked or hesitated, humans acted decisively. Where machines faltered, humans adapted. And their strength, physical and mental, was unmatched. At one point, a heavy hull plate threatened to collapse under fire. Two humans lifted it together, holding it steady while alien engineers repaired critical wiring beneath. The aliens watched in stunned silence. Strength without equal, they realized, was only part of what humans brought. There was also courage, teamwork, and unyielding resolve. One of the younger aliens, overwhelmed by fear, froze in a corner. A human approached, placed a hand on their shoulder, and calmly instructed them to help move a small panel. The alien followed, amazed that fear could be transformed into action with such simple guidance. By the time the rogue fleet retreated, the station had sustained damage, but the repairs had held. Ships were intact, lives saved, and order restored. The aliens began to see a clear pattern. Humans were not only strong and skilled, they were trustworthy under pressure. Their actions had turned potential disaster into victory. The metallic scaled captain approached the chief engineer once more, his expression thoughtful. "I see it now," he admitted. "It is not just strength. It is reliability, courage, quick thinking. Your humans inspire confidence." The chief engineer nodded. "That is why fleets trust human repair stations. Not because we have the biggest guns or the fastest ships, but because we never fail when it matters most." Alien crews gathered in small groups, discussing what they had witnessed. Some whispered about how humans lifted what they could not, repaired what seemed irreparable, and coordinated with calm authority even under fire. Others began to compare human methods to their own, recognizing that humans combined skill, courage, and adaptability in a way no alien species could replicate. In a quiet moment, the chief engineer walked through the hangar, observing both humans and aliens. "Today, you've all seen why we are trusted," he said softly. "It's not magic. It's skill, strength, and teamwork. It's doing the right thing, even when everything is against you." One of the alien captains, younger and more impressionable, looked up. You are extraordinary," he said quietly. The human smiled, shaking his head. "We just do our job. Anyone can do it if they try, but we humans, we never stop trying." By the evening, the rogue threat had passed. Alien crews began repairs on minor damage, with humans guiding them efficiently. The asteroid station, once just a workshop, had become a symbol of resilience and capability. Humans had not only repaired engines, they had protected lives, inspired courage, and proven their reliability. The aliens began to understand something crucial. Strength without equal was only part of the human equation. It was the combination of determination, intelligence, courage, and teamwork that made humans trustworthy and respected across the galaxy. As stars shimmered outside the hangar windows, the chief engineer watched his team work. They were tired, bruised, and sweating, but unbroken. And in their quiet, steady way, they had shown the galaxy exactly why human repair stations were valued above all others. For the aliens, it was a lesson in humility and admiration. For the humans, it was another day of work, another set of impossible challenges met with determination and skill. And the galaxy would remember. The test of loyalty had been passed. Humans had led by example, proving that even under threat, their strength, skill, and courage were unmatched. The alien fleets would carry this knowledge forward, spreading tales of human ingenuity and reliability far and wide. The asteroid station hummed with energy as alarms blared across the hangar. The rogue fleet had returned, larger and angrier than before. Their ships cut through space like predators on a hunt, aiming for the human repair station and the docked alien fleet. Alien crews froze in fear. Even the repaired ships, impressive as they were, would be no match for the coordinated assault. Panic rippled through their ranks. Yet, in the human hangar, there was no panic, only focus. The human chief engineer strode through the chaos, barking orders that combined calm authority with sharp precision. Teams double-check shields, armor placements, hold steady. Keep calm and follow the plan. Humans and aliens alike moved to defensive positions. Hull plates were secured, energy barriers were lifted manually by humans, and auxiliary power was rerouted to turrets and shields. Aliens marveled at how humans could lift panels that would have required machines, and do so without hesitation. One small alien crew hesitated, frozen in fear. A human engineer approached, placing a steady hand on the alien's shoulder. "Follow me," he said firmly. "We're doing this together, don't stop." The alien swallowed hard but followed, moving to help stabilize a failing shield array. The rogue fleet fired first, energy beams tearing across space. The station shuddered as shields absorbed the attack. Sparks flew, panels cracked, and alarms wailed. Humans moved through the chaos with confidence, lifting heavy debris manually to protect vulnerable spots, rerouting power by hand, and even climbing into exposed machinery bays to repair damage while the station shook around them. Aliens were stunned. "No other species could endure this," one whispered. "They are not only strong, they are fearless and clever." In the hangar, humans coordinated with alien crews. One human stood atop a fallen bulkhead, directing repair teams while simultaneously adjusting a power regulator with one hand and lifting a heavy armor plate with the other. The aliens had never seen such multitasking in the heat of battle. The metallic-scaled captain, who had been skeptical since the start, shouted to the human chief engineer, "How can they do this? They are risking everything." The human's reply was simple. "Because it matters. We don't leave things half-fixed, and we don't leave anyone behind." As the battle continued, one of the rogue ships breached the station's outer perimeter, aiming directly for a cluster of damaged alien vessels. Humans and aliens together braced for impact. Two humans lifted a massive section of hull that had begun to collapse, holding it steady while alien engineers repaired critical conduits underneath. One of the smaller human engineers ran across the hangar carrying a damaged turret component. She jumped onto a raised platform, installing it in seconds while fending off sparks and debris. The aliens watched in disbelief. No machine, no matter how advanced, could have acted faster or more effectively. The rogue fleet concentrated fire on the station, trying to break through the defenses. Human engineers moved in real time, redirecting shields, lifting panels, and rerouting power. Every challenge was met with the same calm determination and ingenuity. One alien pilot, trapped in a damaged shuttle bay, struggled to lift a heavy door. A human appeared, gripping the door alongside the alien, and together they lifted it. "Strength is nothing without cooperation," the human said. The alien nodded, awed by both the physical feat and the lesson behind it. Hours passed in a blur of chaos. Sparks, explosions, and the roar of engines filled the air. Humans led the defense with precise coordination. They anticipated rogue maneuvers, repositioned shields, and repaired damage faster than the enemy could inflict it. The aliens began to understand a truth they had suspected but never fully grasped. Humans were not only strong, they were leaders, thinkers, and fearless fighters. At a critical moment, a rogue ship broke through to the main docking bay. Humans responded instantly. One human engineer lifted a fallen power conduit manually, holding it in place while another rewired it. Another climbed onto a precarious ledge, redirecting energy to the defensive turrets, giving the station the power it needed to push back. The aliens, watching every move, could hardly believe what they were seeing. The rogue fleet began to falter. Their attacks were precise but could not match the humans' combination of strength, skill, and ingenuity. Every human action, whether lifting massive plates, repairing engines under fire, or guiding alien crews, shifted the battle in the station's favor. One of the alien captains spoke in awe. "They are more than strong. They are unstoppable." Finally, the rogue fleet, battered and outmaneuvered, retreated. The asteroid station, though scarred, stood firm. Ships were intact, shields held, and no lives were lost thanks to human intervention. The aliens gathered in the hangar, their expressions a mix of relief, awe, and respect. Humans moved among them, tending to minor repairs, checking systems, and ensuring everyone was safe. No human bragged or sought recognition. They simply worked, steady and efficient, as if the battle had been routine. The metallic-scaled captain approached the chief engineer once more. Your species, you do not merely repair ships. You lead, you protect, you inspire. Why are humans so exceptional? The chief engineer shrugged lightly, wiping sweat from his brow. We just do what needs to be done. Strength matters. Yes, but courage, intelligence, and teamwork matter more. That is why we are trusted. A younger alien engineer, still trembling slightly, spoke up. We have never seen anything like this. Even with all our technology and knowledge, your humans, they are remarkable. Humans quietly helped aliens assess damage, improve defenses, and ensure that ships were ready to leave. Their strength and ingenuity had turned what could have been disaster into victory. That night, as calm returned to the asteroid, the humans gathered briefly in the hangar. They were bruised, tired, and covered in grime, but proud. The alien fleets watched, silently, many realizing they had witnessed something extraordinary. The chief engineer looked around at his team. Today was not just about strength, he said. It was about courage, teamwork, and doing the right thing when it matters most. That is why humans are trusted. Aliens who had doubted humans now spoke openly of their admiration. No other species could have survived this, one said. They are not just strong. They are wise, brave, and reliable. Even the metallic-scaled captain, once a skeptic, nodded solemnly. I see it now. Strength without equal is not just about muscle. It is about determination, courage, and leadership. Humans possess all of these qualities. Outside, the stars stretched endlessly. The asteroid station glowed softly against the blackness, a small fortress of human ingenuity and resilience. Aliens prepared to leave, carrying with them stories of human courage and skill that would spread across the galaxy. For the humans, it was another day at work. For the aliens, it was a lesson in humility and admiration. Strength without equal was not only about what humans could lift or repair, it was about what they could endure, inspire, and achieve together. And as the rogue fleet disappeared into the distance, the asteroid station stood proud, a testament to human skill, courage, and unity. The battle was over, but the reputation of humans had grown stronger than ever. Aliens would not just trust human repair stations, they would depend on them, knowing that no matter the challenge, humans would stand firm, lift what others could not, and solve problems that seemed impossible. The station's lights blinked, softly, casting long shadows across the hangar. Humans moved calmly among alien crews, offering guidance, reassurance, and repair expertise. They did not seek glory. Their satisfaction came from seeing others safe, ships repaired, and the galaxy a little steadier than before. The asteroid station was quiet now. The rogue fleet had retreated, defeated and humiliated. Smoke still rose from minor hull damage, and sparks flickered in some sections, but the station stood strong, proof of human resilience and skill. Alien crews wandered among the repaired ships, still processing what they had witnessed. Many whispered among themselves, awe in their voices. Humans moved among them, tending to minor repairs, giving instructions, and offering encouragement. They worked tirelessly, unbothered by their own exhaustion. The chief engineer walked through the hangar, observing both human and alien crews. Check systems again, he said softly. Don't leave anything to chance. Even a small failure can cause trouble later. A young alien captain approached him, eyes wide with admiration. We have never seen anything like this. Your people, they are unlike any species we know. The human smiled. We just do what needs to be done. You do the same, only differently. Strength is nothing without the will to use it wisely. Alien crews began to discuss openly what they had seen. Many had doubted humans before, calling their methods reckless, their reliance on physical strength primitive. Now, after witnessing the battle and repair efforts firsthand, opinions had shifted completely. They are not just strong, one alien admitted. They inspire confidence, even in chaos. They know exactly what to do. They lead, and we follow. Another added, they take risks we would never dare, yet they succeed every time. It is remarkable. The metallic-scaled captain, previously the most skeptical, finally approached the human chief engineer. His expression was solemn but respectful. I admit I misjudged your species. Humans are not only strong, they are reliable, intelligent, and courageous. We trust you now. Completely. The human nodded quietly. Trust is earned. You've seen how we work, how we think, how we act under pressure. That is why human repair stations are trusted. Aliens who had been unsure now came forward, asking questions about human techniques, studying how they had used both physical strength and ingenuity to repair impossible damage and defend against the rogue fleet. They wanted to understand the methods behind the results. A human engineer, adjusting a conduit with steady hands, explained simply, "We combine planning with action. When a problem arises, we assess it quickly, decide the best approach, and act. Sometimes that means lifting heavy objects manually. Sometimes it means improvising. Always it means keeping calm and moving forward." The alien captains listened, fascinated. They had expected advanced machines and technology to be the key, but what impressed them most was human determination and adaptability. Humans had survived, succeeded, and led under conditions that had terrified entire alien fleets. By evening, minor repairs were complete. Ships were ready to depart, shields reinforced, engines humming with renewed power. Humans had worked tirelessly, guiding alien crews and ensuring every vessel could leave safely. The alien crews prepared to leave, offering thanks and expressions of respect. Some bowed, some saluted, but all carried a newfound admiration for humans. They had witnessed firsthand what it meant for humans to be extraordinary. One alien captain approached the chief engineer with a question. "Will your people remain in this sector? Can we rely on you in future conflicts?" The human thought for a moment. "We will be wherever help is needed. That is what human repair stations do. We fix, protect, and lead when others cannot. If the galaxy calls, we answer." A young alien engineer looked around at the busy hangar, now quieting after the day's events. "We believed your stories before," she admitted. "But now, we understand why humans are trusted. It is not just technology or tools. It is your people, the strength, the courage, the will. It is everything." The human smiled. "Exactly. Strength without heart, courage, and intelligence is meaningless. We combine them all." As alien ships lifted off from the asteroid, the humans waved from the hangar decks, their movements calm and confident. Alien crews watching from their cockpits could not hide their amazement. Across the galaxy, word would spread. Human repair stations were not just places to fix ships. They were places where strength, ingenuity, and courage converged, where no challenge was too great, and where every life mattered. Even the rogue fleet retreating far into uncharted space would carry tales of human courage and skill. They would remember the asteroid and the humans who had stood firm against impossible odds, lifting what seemed unliftable, repairing what seemed irreparable, and leading allies to victory. Back on the station, humans continued their work into the night, checking systems, assisting alien crews, and preparing for the next arrivals. There was no boastful celebration, no desire for glory. For humans, it was just part of the job. Help where help was needed, repair what is broken, and protect those who cannot protect themselves. The chief engineer walked to the edge of the hangar, looking out at the stars. "It is not just about power or strength," he said softly. "It is about responsibility, courage, and doing what is right. That is what makes humans human." A younger engineer approached him, curious. "Do you think the aliens will spread the word?" "Definitely," he said with a faint smile. "And it will not be exaggeration. They saw it all. Strength without equal, yes, but also leadership, ingenuity, and trustworthiness. That is what humans bring to the galaxy." The station rested quietly now, a small but powerful beacon in the void, Humans moved among alien crews, helping, teaching, and guiding. Their work was steady, precise, and calm, reflecting the extraordinary nature of their species. One alien ship, ready to depart, lingered a moment longer. Its captain spoke into the comm, voice filled with respect. "Humans, you are truly remarkable. Your strength, your skill, and your courage are unmatched. The galaxy is lucky to have you." The human chief engineer replied simply, "We just do our job, and we will always be here wherever we are needed." As the last alien ships left the asteroid's orbit, humans remained in the hangar, finishing final checks and repairs. They knew more fleets would arrive, more ships would be damaged, more lives would depend on them, and they were ready, because humans did not back down from impossible tasks. Humans did not hesitate under pressure. Humans were strong, but their true strength lay in heart, courage, and determination. Stories of this day would spread far and wide. Across the galaxy, alien civilizations would speak of the human repair station on the asteroid, where humans had lifted massive panels, repaired impossible engines, led crews under fire, and defended a fleet from a superior enemy. The tale would inspire respect, admiration, and perhaps a little envy. Yet humans standing among the repaired ships would remain modest. They did not seek fame, only results. They did not need recognition, only action. For humans, strength without purpose was meaningless. Strength combined with courage, intelligence, and responsibility, that was the true measure of humanity. By the end of the night, the station was quiet. Humans rested briefly, preparing for the next day, knowing that more challenges would come. Aliens would return, fleets would face new dangers, and the galaxy would continue to test their skills. But one truth was secure. Human repair stations were unmatched, and humans themselves were extraordinary. The asteroid glowed softly against the endless black of space. Inside, humans moved calmly among the machines and alien crews, tending to every detail. Their reputation had been secured, not through arrogance or boastful claims, but through action, courage, and unwavering determination. And somewhere far away, across uncharted space, alien fleets would speak of the humans who lifted what others could not, repaired what others could not, and led where others would falter. They would speak of the humans who earned trust through deeds, not words, proving that their strength was truly without equal. The galaxy had seen humans at work, and the lesson was clear. Humans could be trusted in any crisis, relied upon in any challenge, and admired for their extraordinary courage, skill, and strength.